G'day guys, welcome to another episode of Decrypting Crypto. It is your host Matthew Batiri, followed by my co-host Wasim Debussy. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, Matty? What a big week it's been, huh? Another big week in crypto, right?
Another big week, nice little pump in Bitcoin. Everyone's happy, everyone's FOMOing long, everyone's buying. But little do they know what we know. So we are happy to be on this live stream today to give you all the news highlights, Twitter highlights, adoption highlights, market analysis and fundamentals, and an update about Breakout Solutions and some cool little events coming to Australia in this month. So we'll be looking forward to sharing that with you guys.
One sec, mate. Something on.
Alrighty, so we are going to get started today with the news highlights. So Wasim's going to be jumping on and we will get things started. Over to you, Wasim.
Thank you, Matty. Sorry about that. There was something you start playing in the background here. I don't know if you guys heard that, so it took my attention away. Guys, look, another big week in crypto with more exchanges falling over, but there's also some great news. We're right in the midst of that financial revolution, and we're going to see today how the legacy financial system is starting to crumble. So there's some great news showing that today, and we'll start talking about that in a moment. But first, with Voyager Digital, so on July 6th, US crypto lender Voyager Digital said that he had filed for bankruptcy, becoming another casualty of what is already of a dramatic fall in the prices that's happening out there in the crypto market right now. New Jersey-based Celsius also in June froze their withdrawals, and they had also hired advisors on a possible bankruptcy. Voyager also froze withdrawals a little this month also, and so did another one, Singapore's Vault. So now, because what's happening is all of these exchanges and all of these platforms are they are interconnected. So it's same as what happened back in the 2008 global financial crisis when things started to fall. The things that were interconnected start to fall together. And this also happened because of Three Arrow Capitals, who had also filed for bankruptcy, which is now having that ripple effect. So this is why it's so important, guys. And what we keep telling you is to always hold your crypto in your own self-custody wallets, whether it's the hardware wallet, obviously being the best one, something like a Ledger like this, or whether it's a software wallet if you don't have a hardware wallet. But being off exchanges is going to protect your crypto. They don't tell us before they fail. As soon as they start failing, that's when these guys start saying stop withdrawals, etc. So that is that's some of the hard news out there, and it doesn't get any better. But this is where we can start seeing that revolution happening. So Turkey embraces Bitcoin. So Bitcoin gains acceptance in Turkey as inflation reaches a 24-year high. So 78.62% annual inflation in Turkey, with the money increase being only 4.95%. So you can see that the Turkish lira is just going down the drain. Just like many of these countries starting now, the financial systems are not working. And the Turkish government has been really harsh on cryptocurrencies and against raising interest rates, even to the point where now the Turkish government is looking at bringing in their gold savings, their gold reserves into the financial system, because they have been so defiant against crypto. They've made crypto withdrawals illegal, I think back in 2021, but the people have not stopped. People in Turkey are seeing that the money is going down the drain, so they are all turning more and more to crypto, with adoption being rapid, and almost everybody's saving in crypto. Even, they made a quote that and wherever you go, you can buy things in crypto, and almost everybody in Turkey is now turning to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, what we're seeing here is as more people start to realize the power of it, and when financial systems like this, we've had Lebanon, we have Sri Lanka, Venezuela, we're going to talk about that in a little while, Turkey, some of these countries where inflation is rampant, people are turning to cryptocurrency. So next one is Bitcoin tourists have been purged. Only holders remain as the report comes out of the of the on-chain analytics company Glassnode. So in a recent report, what they said was what they're seeing now is first of all, the worst month for Bitcoin in 11 years, with losses of 37.9%. But they're also saying that a lot of the what they're calling as tourist traders, people who FOMO in at the height of Bitcoin, people who go in at the 50, the 60, and the $69,000 Bitcoin, the guys that are buying it then, they're the ones that are leaving the market right now at a loss. Now, if you have the right education and we're going in at these prices now in the middle of the bear market, we're DCAing in, this is one of the best strategies that you can do. And, Matt was going to show you guys something that we are releasing very, very soon. And he's already put something on that on his profile. So go check that out. Okay, now let's go over to the next one, which is due to high inflation, Argentinians turn to cryptocurrency. So again, another government who is somewhat anti-crypto, but the people are turning to cryptocurrencies. They're even right now, even taxi drivers, everybody's turning to cryptocurrencies because it was ranked the 10th of, well, first of all, it was one that had the highest inflation in the world. It had over 50% in annual inflation. So people are losing faith in the money there. But adoption of crypto is starting to get stronger and stronger because people are voting with their money. As these financial systems fall, people are turning to crypto, and everybody in Argentina is turning to crypto right now, even though the government still does not accept it as legal tender. So what we're starting to see over the past few weeks and after a few months, but more rapidly, even Brazil, we spoke about Brazil and what they're doing over there. Mexico, and now I've got a bill in to turn Bitcoin into crypto into a legal tender. So we're seeing more and more of this stuff happening, and this is all part of the financial revolution we're going to see. As it gets bigger and bigger, the dominoes are going to keep falling. So much great news coming this way. Next one, Binance will stop charging for Bitcoin spot trades. So Binance has done something that is unique. I don't know if it's done before. Not as far as I know, anyway, to my knowledge. And what they've done is they've allowed people to be able to swap to Bitcoin for no trading fees, and they can do that through stable coins as well as some fiat currencies. And they did this first of all when Binance.us did it over in America, and it was seen as a shot across the bow, which is a marketing term for when you put something out there that shocks the market. And it was when Coinbase was having all their challenges, so they were obviously trying to attract all the Coinbase clients. Say, hey, if you come to us, you can trade into Bitcoin for with no trading fees. And now they're doing it as part of their 5th anniversary. Now, Binance, for those of you guys that don't know, is one of the strongest and one of the largest crypto exchange in the world. And obviously by doing this, they're going to strengthen their position in the market. So, again, we still say keep your money off exchanges. But for me, Binance is one of the biggest and strongest ones in the world. That's it for me, guys. Over to you, Matty.
Thank you, Wasim. Alrighty, guys, on to the Twitter highlights, starting off with our good old mate, Peter Schiff. So most of the news stories about my bank claim that it was closed for tax evasion and money laundering, even though it was made clear that those financial crimes had nothing to do with the closure. The media is supposed to expose government corruption, not help them get away with it. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Peter Schiff had a interview with 60 Minutes Australia a few months ago now. It's probably close to a year ago. And they asked him some hard questions, and he was struggling to answer those questions. So I will try and find that video clip for you guys and paste it possibly underneath this video later on. But it's quite funny because, Peter Schiff should probably look at investing into Bitcoin like his son to avoid sort of the government control. This is the reason why we should not put all our eggs in the banking system, because sometimes the banks can decide to close your account at a whim. They don't tell you. It could be because of fraudulent activity. You could be as well doing some fluffy stuff, and they really just have too much control over your money. And that's one thing why, for example, ourselves, we're getting big into DeFi, decentralized finance, trying to be more empowered with our money and making sure that we're holding our own assets rather than putting it in the custody of those big banks. Moving on to Plan B, he talks about the relative strength index RSI flipping. So basically, he's just saying that Bitcoin's really cheap right now. If this is the bottom, even I do believe we are close. I personally don't think we are at the bottom, but I think we are close, of course. That this indicates it's a great buying zone and it's a great time to accumulate dollar cost average, like Wasim talked about, and get ready for that next bull run, because that's going to probably start in the next 6 to 12 months. Moving on to Will Clemente, long term, it's incredibly positive to flush out all of this over-leveraged Ponzi garbage. By the end of this, only the genuine good faith actors will remain and push the space forward, not leeching off it and give it a bad reputation. Nature is healing. So I guess he's talking about Three Arrows, Voyager, Celsius, all these companies that seem to be having done things in good faith to their customers, now letting their customers down, and obviously are now collapsing and going bankrupt. So we've talked about this before. The cream will rise to the top during the bear market. This is where we flush out all the Ponzi's, all the shit coins, all the meme coins, and people see what the number one dog is, and that is Bitcoin. Moving on to Altcoin Daily, not your keys, not your crypto. We've talked about this before on our multiple previous streams of ours. Basically, you should be having a hard wallet and not keeping your money on exchanges, no matter how big or small, because the amount of money that you are putting into investment, it's dear to you. $100 might be precious to you, $1,000 to me, $1 million to Elon Musk. It's always important to make sure that if you are entering the crypto space, you should be technically becoming your own bank. So keep your money off exchanges unless you are trading, because it's unsafe to do so on these exchanges. Moving on lastly to Da Vinci Jeremy. So I noticed women running to the store for 75% discount for worthless stuff, and Bitcoin currently is 75% off, but you're telling me you're waiting for 85% off sale, right? So basically, everyone's talking that things might get lower, but we may have already bottomed out at 17,600. So imagine missing the boat and not having bought any Bitcoin in the last sort of month or so when we've been at these prices. Really, you've kind of missed out already on some gains. Even though I personally think we will go lower, it's just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, and I'd be happy to be wrong, because obviously I still hold a lot of Bitcoin. So if the price comes up from now, I'm still happy, but I'd still obviously prefer to DCA lower. But at the end of the day, if everyone is looking for lower, we know that the whales are just going to do the opposite of what everyone is thinking. Everyone right now is talking about lower prices, so it wouldn't surprise me if we've already hit the bottom and now we start going to the moon from here. Alrighty, I'm going to bring Wasim back in, and he's going to head into the adoption highlights.
Thank you, Matty. And again, with the adoption highlights today, it's just going to continue to show how far blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies are going and how far they're going to go in the future. So first of all, Lamborghini-backed GT racing team to certify car parts with NFTs. Now, when I first read this, I'm like, well, how are they going to do this? And I started reading the article quite interestingly. What they're using is a blockchain NFT process to verify verify the genuinity of each product. So as the parts go through the supply chain, they know that they're not being replaced by fake products or being stolen or anything else. This is just another level of security to make sure that they're getting the right part to the right customer every single part of the way. Again, this just shows how strong and how many use cases there are for blockchain technologies, including things like NFTs, and showing that we are still very, very early in this space. Moving on to the next one, Senga cryptocurrency hub launch goes live in Central African Republic. Now, we spoke a little bit about Central African Republic the other time, that they are the second country to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. Now, they said they were going to do they want to create a crypto island. Now, when I first saw that, when I first heard that, I didn't really understand. So I actually looked them up, and the country is pretty much landlocked around other countries. So they've got no ocean. So what they mean by this, they're going to create their own country to become a crypto island with government-backed exchanges and other ways to attract more and more cryptocurrency businesses and tech people into this very small country of about 5 million people, because they were struggling under the old financial system. And the president said, well, now, the old financial system, we can't win. So they're creating this new financial system alongside with countries like El Salvador. What the great thing is, we're seeing that each country is now becoming innovative in how they're going to use crypto. El Salvador are using their volcanoes for mining. They're using solar power for mining. These guys are creating a metaverse to attract more and more people come to their country and flourish economically. So again, showing how far this financial revolution is going. The next one is users can pay with crypto for their Uber Eats with BitPay integration. So BitPay is a crypto debit card. Now, funnily enough, the way that this works is you transfer your crypto to their card, and then they do an exchange from the crypto to the dollars that you're spending. Now, earlier this week in our 1K Day Club, we actually released a mini course on how to spend your crypto. And in that mini course, there's hundreds of ways in which we can spend our crypto on everyday things, including having crypto debit cards, and one that does similar to what this one does, where it transfers or exchanges your crypto instantly at the tap of your card, or where you're using it. So if you are interested in that, look out for the 1K Day presentations that are coming up, or reach out to us and we can get you in there for $1. Now, back to what these guys are doing. They're actually partnering up with Uber as well as DoorDash and a few other delivery companies, and they're making it easier and more accessible for people to use these online and be able to pay for things instantly using their card and using their payment gateways. And we're going to see more and more of this happening. Like I said, with the mini course that we released, there's hundreds of ways to even get everything that you ever need on cryptocurrencies. Moving over, UAE to open first medical tourism hospital in the metaverse. Now, this is another interesting use case for metaverses and hospitals and what the future can bring. So what they've done here, they've created a metaverse where the patients can just put on a headset and create an avatar in the metaverse and go visit the actual doctor. Now, I was going to say, well, we've got telehealth and whatnot, but they've got actual patients who've been in accidents, they've lost, all sensory feelings and mobility, etc. But they, instead of them coming to a hospital all the time, which is a challenge, they can do this by just virtually through that. And they've got diabetes and they've got a whole bunch of other, severe diseases where it will make a huge difference to the patient's life, not having to come into the hospital all the time. So this is a great innovation in UAE, and it's going to allow some of these patients to even go back home, because they've got obviously a lot of migrant population. And they gave an example of a patient who is from Sri Lanka, but after an accident has been stuck in UAE. With this technology, he can go back home to his family and still be able to visit his doctor all the way on the other side of the world. So that's an amazing, amazing announcement. And lastly, we have Visa introduces a unique no-limit Bitcoin card in the UAE. So again, another payment gateway is looking at allowing people to have a Bitcoin debit card or credit card, whatever you want to call it. And what they're doing, similar to the BitPay one that we spoke about and the one that we released this week to our members, basically it will exchange your Bitcoin directly to and a few other tokens, a few other different cryptos. It will transfer that, will exchange those to a fiat at the pay when you're paying for things. So these are more innovative ways. And on top of that, Visa's actually created or has a token that once you spend using your crypto, they give you 10% back of their token. Very similar to what Crypto.com does and what the BlockFi credit card does. That gives you reward for using it. So they are launching this to only 10,000 people, and you can apply on their website, but only in the UAE. So Australians are not eligible for that. But this just shows what is coming with the adoption and where the world is going with crypto. So overall, very, very exciting news.
Alrighty. Thank you, Wasim. All right, we will move now on to the market analysis, starting off with the NASDAQ. So basically, Bitcoin's ongoing price correlation with the NASDAQ was ever present last week because the tech-heavy index came under pressure due to the escalation crisis with Ukraine and the current macroeconomic environment. So Bitcoin has obviously seen some upside. We can see money flowing back into the crypto market with obviously a pump in the last couple of days from 19,000 to 22,500, I think, today. I'll go into that a little bit deeper in a second, but basically, we're seeing, Bitcoin is tech, so it's really important that you guys keep an eye on the NASDAQ as an index, because there's a lot of correlation with Bitcoin. Moving over to Bitcoin, basically, if I chuck on the 200 period moving average on the weekly, you can see that this morning, when we did sort of hit that 22,500, we basically ran straight into the 200 period moving average. So it's acting as resistance now. We need to break back above it to give great sentiment in the market. You can see that in previous times when we've come back above the 200 period moving average, it just basically means we are commencing the start of the next bull run. Normally, we'll see a lot of sideways consolidation around the 200 period moving average. It'll be support, resistance, support, resistance, and then we'll obviously start the commencement of the next bull run. And every bull run, as you can kind of see, it's always a very exponential price growth in the asset. So Bitcoin also had its worst monthly close since 2011. Its monthly closing price fell marginally short of the psychological and critical $20,000 level. However, the monthly price close was above the 2017 high of 19,660. So this is significant because the 2017 peak was a key breakout zone and a point of no return for the December 2020 rally, making it crucial support. Now, the difference is between this recent bull run comparative to previous bull runs, we never came back to test that 20K level once we broke it. You can see back here on the 2017 bull run, once we sort of broke the all-time high, we actually came back down below the previous all-time high and then continued off the rally. Same again back here in 2012, once we sort of broke the all-time high. You can't see this because it's on a weekly candle, but I can assure you we came back down, tested that level the following week, and then continued the bull run. So things are really interesting right now. I do, like I said, keep saying, I do think we probably are going to go a bit lower, and I'm going to show you exactly why in about, actually, I'll show you right now. So many of you, if you've been part of this bull cycle, you may have already heard of the Pi cycle indicator. It was an indicator that it basically called the top of the previous two bull cycles. So I'm going to throw it on. So if you're on TradingView, you can check out Pi cycle, and basically, as you can see, it picked the cycle tops each and every time. It has two moving averages. It has a 350-day moving average and a 111-day moving average. And when those moving averages cross or touch, that's what indicated the top of the cycle. So you can see bang, 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 bang. 4 times it called the top. Obviously, it called the top back here, but we did break that all-time high by roughly a few $1,000. And recently somebody created a Pi cycle bottom indicator. Okay, so where the 471-day moving average and the 150-day moving average crossover, indicating the bottom. There wasn't enough data back here to obviously indicate the bottom, but it has obviously done that in the previous 2 cycles. Now, what's really interesting is these 2 moving averages are very close together. They will probably cross in the next month or so, therefore indicating the market cycle bottom. Now, these previous indicators, as you can see where it crossed here, right here, it did get the bottom perfectly. If we go back to the previous one, it also got the bottom perfectly. And since it hasn't crossed over just yet, this is sort of also confirming my theory that we have not yet bottomed. We might get a price rally to 25 to 28,000, but I do effectively think we should get one more catastrophic dump, freaking everyone out, which is perfect, selling their Bitcoins for cheap, and then myself and my friends will be here scooping the cheap Bitcoin up quite fast. All right, moving on along. So the stock market investors experienced a tense end to the second quarter as they came to terms with the worst half-yearly close since 1970, and the timeline coincides with similar inflation levels 50 years ago. So we are, technically in a recession because the recession is 2 negative quarters back to back, and we've had that. But usually that is a delayed indicator, right? You don't know it's going to be 2 quarters back to back until that second quarter closes, and obviously that occurred. So we are technically in a recession, but like all recessions, we do come out of the other side at some point. Moving along, so we have money makers that are signing approximately a 70% chance that rates will be lifted by another 75 basis points. However, if the Friday's job numbers surprises with higher unemployment rates, we could see only a 50 basis point rate hike, providing relief for risk asset investors. So that's why we may continuously see the NASDAQ and Bitcoin price go up in the short term, because obviously there's some good news in regards to jobs and so forth. Now, also the following week, we have the US CPI report coming out. This is going to create a tense position for buyers, especially if the job market is stable and the Fed decides to stay hawkish. So the last, obviously, rise was 8.6. You can see the table here from January, February, March, April. The next one is on July 13th. So it'll be very interesting to see what the CPI report shows us there. Alrighty, moving on. So one of the most notable signs in the short term was smart money. So Wells, holding between 1,000 and 10,000 BTC, saw its first rise since the first quarter of 2022. So these mid-tier whales, hold their lowest balance in over a year. However, they showed some buying interest over the weekend, which is a promising signal. So whenever we see, obviously, these larger wallets accumulating, right? This is the big money. We always need to follow the big money. It's kind of telling me, hey, we're probably very close to a bottom in the short term, because if these guys are accumulating, this is really interesting to me. So we're still in Bitcoin season. It's not altcoin season soon, but I tend to see altcoin season before sort of the Bitcoin run, because people are sort of getting in, thinking of what's the next coin that's going to 50, 100, 1,000x. That is not the time just yet. It's still Bitcoin dominant league at the moment. So don't start collecting those cheap altcoins just yet. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we've jumped up. So I think last week we were at 11. We're now at 20. So I guess there's more faith coming into the market. I have told you many times that the very dark orange spots are always the best time to buy or dollar cost average into. And right now we can obviously see that price going back up and pumping has given people, a better outlook in the short term. Moving along to Bitcoin percentage balance on exchanges, we can see that the balance continuously drops. Let me zoom into the later half here. So I've said this before, when there's less Bitcoin on exchanges, there can be more volatility. So we can go up fast, we can go down fast, but it's also really important to know that if people are removing Bitcoin from the exchanges, they're not looking to sell it, they're obviously looking to hodl it. This is telling me that obviously the total percentage balance on exchanges has dropped, but I'm going to show you something on the next slide, which tells me that we might see a short-term fluctuation move in the not too distant future. So total transfer volume to exchanges in BTC, we can see that we've had a bit of an uptick since we've made this move up. Now, if you kind of look at this entire chart, every time we go up, okay, people sending Bitcoin to exchanges, we see a drop in price because people are selling. Okay, we see big uptick here, price comes down. So now we're seeing a bit of an uptick in the price. We may see the price just come up a little bit more. People FOMO in thinking, hey, yeah, we basically bottom, and then boom, the whales dump it one more time in everyone's face to make those really weak hands sell out and obviously, sell their Bitcoins for cheap. Alrighty, lastly, what I want to show you guys is this amazing new economy mirrored portfolio. I posted it in the group. You probably got a direct message from me. Basically, we have an amazing promotion right now that allows you to join our 1K a day program. There's $19,000 worth of value in there. But the most important thing that you're probably excited to see is you can copy our every trade when we buy and sell out of Bitcoin, USDC, and Ethereum. So the promotion right now is you sign up for $1, you get to copy us for 2 months. And if you wish to stay thereafter, it's going to cost you $47 a month. If you don't want to stay with us, you can cancel after your first bill. And then obviously, hopefully you've made some money in the last 2 months. You can see that since we've started this account on June 15th, we are up 3.55%, whereas Bitcoin is down minus 0.81%. We initially invested $1,000. We're up $25. This morning, I executed a trade. Every time I rebalance the portfolio, either buying or selling, I let people know, rebalanced at 22,300. So basically I was $200 off the top because obviously we wicked up real quick. We started selling and now we're currently hovering at 21,800. So that's about a 2.5% difference. So if I was to buy Bitcoin back, I sold about 10%. we'd be making about $25 profit or $25 in Bitcoin. So super powerful tool. I'll just quickly show you one of our other portfolios where we've done absolutely amazing over the last year. So this is our main portfolio that is still up 39.51% comparative to Bitcoin still being down 45.15%. The difference between this strategy and what's called a HODL strategy is if you bought Bitcoin a year ago, right, at the price of, what was it, $40,000 and held, your $10,000 will be worth about $5,500 right now. But with our strategy, if you put $10,000 in there, you'd be up $3,951. So guys, I think, especially because it's only $1, it's only available to the first 50 people. If you'd like to join, I will leave the link to that registration page just in the comments right now. Bear with me. Let me put that in the comments. There you go. That is the registration page. Head over to that registration page. Use the promo code July 2022, only available to the first 50 people, and we can't wait to see you guys on board. That's going to give you access to our course. Let me bring up our course real quickly so you know everything that's included. Right, there's $19,000 worth of inclusions. It's great for beginners because it's going to get you set up with security. It's going to get you set up with secure email, 2FAs. You're going to learn a lot about crypto. Basically, you're going to get access to a lot of passive income strategies. It's amazing for anyone, really. But obviously, the key thing is we help you make money by you following our trades in the mirrored portfolio section. So go ahead, jump on that link below, use that promo code, and we'll see you inside of our private Slack channel where we're always available to our members to help them, obviously, on their crypto journey. So that is it from me. I'll bring Wasim back in. He's got a few final words to say about an upcoming event that's in Brisbane. So Wasim, take it away.
Thank you, Matty. So, guys, we're excited to announce that there is a crypto roadshow that's starting to happen around Australia, and we're proud to announce that we are actually supporting it and we are speaking there. So, if you are in Brisbane or Queensland and you want to come and see us speak, we'll be there on the 31st of July. And can we put the website up on the screen, please, Matt? So that you can get onto the website, grab a free ticket. There are two levels of tickets. There's a free ticket and there's a $10 ticket. If you are interested in the $10 one, we're going to be speaking in the second half of the day. We need to pay for the second half of the day. The first half of the day is free for those of you that don't want to buy. But $10 ticket is absolute steal. It's called AussieCryptoRoadshow.com. Get on there, grab your tickets. That's it. Thank you, Matt. You scroll down a bit. It's got it there. You can see our name on there, Breakout Solutions. Grab your tickets. There'll be some other organizations and other crypto businesses and NFT projects. And it's going to be a great day, guys. And we'll be coming over from Brisbane. We're going to be Melbourne and Sydney and potentially Perth. So keep an eye on that, guys. Get your tickets, and we'd love to see you there.
Perfect. Thank you, Wasim. Guys, that's it from us. We wish you a happy and healthy weekend. We can't wait to see you guys next Tuesday for our next DC live stream. That's it from us. Bye for now.